Most DevOps engineers don't get stuck because they don't know tools. They get stuck because they never change how they think. You can work with Kubernetes, you can work with Terraform, CI/CD for years, and still be treated like a mid-level engineer. Because seniority is not about execution, it's about judgment. Early in your career, you are rewarded for doing things right. You get tickets, you implement pipelines, you write infrastructure as a code, and as long as it works, you are considered good. But senior roles work very differently. At senior level, nobody cares how fast you can implement something. They care about what happens when it breaks. Let's take an example. Imagine you are deploying a new service. A junior mindset is like, how do I deploy this correctly? But in case of a senior mindset will be, is this if this fail, how big is the impact? Does one service go down or does the entire platform become unavailable? So that single question changes everything. Senior DevOps engineers constantly think in terms of blast radius, like how big will be the impact. If a configuration mistake happens, will it affect it will affect one pod or one service, one region, or it will affect the entire production environment? So that's why senior engineers often say no to designs that look correct but have dangerous failover modes, like a failure modes. Here is another example. In AWS or Azure, it's very easy to add redundancy. So, multi-AZ, auto scaling, replicas, cloud makes this feel almost free. But seniors don't ask can we add redundancy? They ask, what new problem does this create? If we add multi-region, then who will manage failovers? How do we test it? What happens during partial outages? Who gets paged at 2 a.m. when traffic starts bouncing between regions? So, if nobody can answer those questions, redundancy become risk. It's not become a safety. This is where many DevOps engineers get stuck. They keep learning more tools, they keep learning more Kubernetes features, more CI/CD stages, more monitoring dashboards, thinking that more knowledge equals seniority. It does not. Complexity without judgment does not signal experience, it signals danger. That's also why DevOps interviews often feel strange or unfair. Interviewers are not testing whether you remember syntax or commands. They are testing how you think under uncertainty. They want to see, do you understand trade offs? Can you explain why you would not do something? Can you reason about failure instead of assuming success? So, a senior answer is rarely a perfect solution, it's a defensible decision. If you want to start thinking like a senior, begin asking these questions before you build anything. What problem are we actually solving here? So, if this fails, what breaks first? Who owns this in production when something goes wrong? And how do we roll back if this changes causes effect? If you can't answer those questions, uh, the system is not ready. Even if it technically works, but senior DevOps engineer, as I can say, senior DevOps engineer is not a title or a promotion. It's a shift in responsibility, and you stop being the person who builds the system. You become the person who protects production. That's what this series is about. Real systems, real trade-offs, no fluff. Thank you.